Yes, this will not be for beatings. This is for pointing. Okay, so I want to jump into lead conversion because the truth is many of you are finding that you're getting great leads, a lot of leads through the Facebook ads, and yet they're no good if you're not converting them. So I just want to talk about conversion in general, just to get your mindset around it, because you really do want to nurture. Now, there's a few things I just want to share, screen share real quick. Now, there's a company, just make sure I'm showing this properly, called Conversion Monster. And they actually won our award, Keller Williams Award, for the company of the future. And this was at FutureCon, and it was really the best of the upcoming technologies and services being featured. And then we, as you know, the people in the audience actually voted. Conversion Monster's job is basically to convert your Facebook leads or any type of leads that you've got coming in. So if you bought Zillow leads, or you just wanted your CRM worked for you, or you had expired listings brought in, they actually cold call and also nurture leads. It's called Conversion Monster. And the reason I bring this up is most agents aren't able to build a system that they're willing to do long term that's going to convert these leads. And the truth is, when you look at what you guys have in Command, you have all the parts. So if you were an agent at a different brokerage and you had Top Producer, or you had Boomtown, or you had whatever CRM was provided for you, you wouldn't have the parts you need to build a smart plan with the automation, with the texting, with the emails, the whole giddy up. And so there's companies like Conversion Monster that are becoming extremely popular. But if you look and you could go check out Conversion Monster, they're a fortune. It costs you a fortune to work your own pipeline because they know most agents don't want to do it. So you really want to build the smart plan behind you so you have that automation, because for the time it takes to build a smart plan, which literally is a half hour or so, you can have something to turn on and interact with people and have a huge response. So there's another article that I pulled, and actually, you know what I'll do is I'll put these in the chat real quick. So here's Conversion Monster. Now we decided that there's so many people getting engaged in this that my Thursday team meeting will be deep in this. So if this interests you and you really want to get deep into this, we will be on Thursday for the team meeting, and you're welcome to join us, and we will record it. So here's a great article that I'm just going to post, and it's about funnel leads. And before we dive into this, I'm going to put this in the chat, and what I'd recommend you just go open these up and look at them later, because once this meeting's over, you can't retrieve the links. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Sorry, Patty, you're getting me. I'm going to show you kind of what I mean by lead conversion. So here's just a couple things. You can get leads through either people that you know or people that you don't know. And if you look at your database, this is my really fancy visual aid. It's so ugly. I should have gone to art school. Here's your database, real fancy. You've got a lot of people that you don't really know in there, like these Facebook people, let's be honest. There might be a few that you know magically, but typically if you look at your whole database, you've got different piles of people. You've got people that were past clients. You could have past clients from other jobs. If you sold in another business, past clients are people that you've interacted with in a professional way. It doesn't necessarily mean real estate. Neighbors that you knew, clubs that you participated in. If you're really involved in your church, people from church. Maybe you've met people at open houses, people through your kids or friends and family. There's so many different piles of types of people in your database. And yet, if you actually nurture your database properly, you'll get a 10% return every year. So the first thing, before you go try to nurture strangers, you may want to consider doing a better job with your own database. So when we talk about these smart plans, we're talking about getting you to a 10% conversion with the people that you know. And then for the smart plans, for the unmets or those Facebook people, we'll call them Facebook as an example, you should be able to get a 9% return. That's really good. Because typically for any type of internet lead, you're going to get a 1 to 3% if you're really on it. Like if you're on top of it, you get to the lead right away, and you have an aggressive conversion. For online leads, I'm talking pay-per-click, like Google Click, SEO type leads, you're going to get a 1 to 3%. With these Facebook ads, because of our algorithm, we're going to see somewhere between 9, and we've got a few agents that are kind of showing off. They're getting up to 18%. So now I'm going to be real brutally honest. Those people getting 18%, that's all they're doing all day. They're on Facebook mania. They're getting the leads. They're working the leads. That is their one thing. They're not running around doing virtual open houses and things. They're going all in. And so that's one thing I'll say is, if you have a database, don't forget about them, and don't forget about your nurture to them and your smart plan to them, because that's the right? Best leads ever are the people that already like you. And yet for those of you doing the Facebook, don't just go do ads and hope for the best by putting them on a biweekly nurture. You do have to nurture them. So here's my other visual aid. If this is a person in your database, on average, during their lifespan from high school on, they typically move 14 times. 14. And so say I'm, let's just pretend I'm 22 again, out of college. I'm dreaming, right? And when I'm out of college, I probably move right into my parents' basement or back into the house. Yet as soon as I get a job, I typically am going to go buy a house. And usually that first property people live in for about 2 years because it's all that they can afford. So it's pretty modest at best, but as soon as they get into their first home, they're dreaming of what their next home would be. And then after that, they probably upgrade. So maybe I moved into a condo and then I bought a single family home and I lived there for 4 years. And then I got married and then I had children. So then all of a sudden I stayed at that house for 10 years and the next one for 7 and the next one for 4. The truth is, people have moves every time they have a lifestyle change. College to new job, to more money, to maybe a marriage and children, maybe even a divorce, or maybe I'm going to the retirement home and this is the last home I buy. But the point is this, you guys have a problem in the sense that you only pay attention when they're right at the chance of wanting to buy. This is the only time you really pay attention to your database. So shame on you, because you're hoping magic happens at the right exact instant and they remember you. So you've got to work on that relationship. You've got to earn their future business. And the thing is everyone in your database is a lead. Maybe not today, maybe I'm 18 months out, or maybe I'm actually 2 years out because my kids need to graduate from this school and we're going to go over to this school. Or maybe I'm 2 years from retiring, or maybe I'm 2 years from being able to buy that investment property. Everyone in your database is gold to you. And are you treating them that way? So I'm going to dive deep into conversion on Thursday for both the people that you know and the people that you're collecting in these Facebook leads, because it's really simple. If we sat down and jotted a list of all the things that you can give to someone that you know that's valuable, that's tied to real estate, and we made a list, and I'm gonna ask you guys to share a couple ideas right now. So think about what you might say. What is something? So say I'm relocating here. Say I'm a friend from high school and I see you live here now, and I ask you a question of like, where's the best places to move? What kind of tools could you give me? You and I may have not spoken for years. We may have thumbed up a few comments back and forth over the years, but that might be where our relationship is. And that's pretty common, isn't it? That's about where relationships are. So if I'm actually a potential lead in your database, let's forget about Facebook for a second. What are some of the things of value that you can give me? I'm going to make a list, and I want to hear from you. So unmute yourself. What's something you can do for me? I'm relocating here. Damari, I'm going to pick on you because I see you're on, and you and I both relocated here. So when you moved here from Chicago, what's something of value?
When I moved here from Chicago, well, value would have been like stuff like playgrounds, and I have a daughter, so schools, and where could a mom go to meet other moms? Because I didn't know anybody here except for my dad.
Right. Okay. So you want to meet people, school information, playgrounds. What else? Let me hear from you guys. What else?
A water enthusiast.
What about trying to find out whether or not they have family members so that they can move closer to their family members that live here?
Okay. I heard from, I think Maureen said water enthusiasts. So like, where's the best places to go boating or snorkeling or?
Right. Like maybe you don't want to be right on the beach, but you want to be close enough to the beach, you know, but yet not in all that traffic all the time.
Sure. Traffic.
I wanted to be, Jess, I wanted to be close to work and school. I wanted to be in a certain radius because I had to be able to be, you know, pick up Adriana quickly. So that was real important to me, to not drive far. Plus I came from Atlanta and I hated traffic.
Yeah, so traffic and commute's a big one. School information is a huge one. Florida, they sure get insurance wrong if they're from a different area when it comes to that. So you need to educate them about Florida insurance, right? What else?
Shopping and restaurants.
Shopping, restaurants. Yep. What else?
The weather was a
Nightlife
factor coming here.
activities.
I'm sorry, I heard two of you. What did you say?
Good. I said nightlife and activities.
Fun. What is there to do to fun, right? Let's have some fun around here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flood zones. Maybe people don't want to be like in that first zone where they have to evacuate every time there's a threat.
Hurricane and flood zones. I'm going to put that on there because I didn't know what the heck to do with the hurricane, you guys. I was freaked out the first one, and you guys were all telling me to go get propane and be prepared to have a party at my house. I was like, what?
Yes, I have a lot of relocation that I do. So people want to know, how far is the closest beach? Do you have to pay to get out there? What amenities are at the beach? So is it a beach for young people or families?
Yeah, so what's the makeup of the community? So I'll just put families. Is there a bunch of families in the neighborhood, or is it a bunch of 55 plus? Okay, so can I point out the obvious to you? How much of this is really tied to real estate?
None.
Directly, not directly, but indirectly, sure.
Lifestyle. This is lifestyle, isn't it? Lifestyle. What's the lifestyle like? Is the lifestyle going to match what I need it to match? Is it going to match my commute needs? Is it going to be the lifestyle around me that I want? Right? So if you guys think about it, your communication plan to the people you know, or got incoming, sorry, for the people you know and the people you're trying to get to know should be about lifestyle and pepper in real estate. So if you put everyone on a bi-weekly nurture, that's a lead. And you share about how it is to live here. And you pepper in information about flood, mortgage, things that are unique about us. Do you think that's a great communication plan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if I don't need a house and I'm in your database, am I going to be offended because you told me the top 5 beaches to go watch the fireworks on are? No. It's a balance, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It really is. So when you look at Gary Keller, where's my books? My office is so disorganized. I got to get back into my groove of things. When you look at this book's been on the shelf for a lot of years. In this book, he talks about a 36 touch. A 36 touch is going to be real estate plus relationship, which is lifestyle and value. So values could be your Keller mortgage, Keller covered, your biweekly nurture to keep them up to speed on what's going on. Keller offers if they really need to get out of their house fast and they don't want people in it, right? You've got so many values. So if you look at the formula of a really good 36 touch, it's really based off of lifestyle information, real estate information, and the value adds that you can give. So when you think of top of funnel leads that are ways out, your way of communicating them that whole time is that 36 touch. And then when they start interacting with you, or they start reading them all, or they go look at the biweekly nurture and they save a property, that's them raising their hand saying, I'm close, I'm close. Right? It's kind of your clue, like they're ready to start talking. So I want to make sure you guys don't lose sight of that. So any questions around that? I know that's a lot of time I spent on that, but I'm going to dive deep on this for the team meeting, because your ability to set that automated system up is phenomenal because you've got the tools to do it. Whereas other agents have to go pay Conversion Monster and all these other programs, big bucks, I'm talking big bucks, thousands of dollars a month to go take the leads that they brought in that they're ignoring because they have no system behind it. If you developed a genuinely strong communication plan, you could use it for your leads as well as your database. And the only thing different would be the speed of delivery. So if you guys are all my database, okay, you're all people that I know in some way, work, church, friends, boating, whatever. I know you in whatever capacity. And you don't need a house this year, but I keep updating you on the market. I keep giving you value. I keep sharing top 10s, top 3s, top 5s. When it comes to you needing a home, who are you going to call? Me. And so that hasn't changed. And yet, if you guys were leads, okay, I would just speed up that method of delivery. And so the best way to think about smart plans are kind of like a puzzle. Damari and I worked on smart plans the other night. Judy was there too. And we built one and we kind of equated it to puzzle pieces, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Because if you build a single puzzle piece, like you did a touch on Keller Mortgage, or you did a touch on flood insurance, or you did a touch on best places to go take your kid during COVID to keep them busy and let them burn off some energy. And you sent that to your whole database, that's cool. If you sent that to your lead pipeline, your funnel leads, people that have shown indication, all you would need to do is speed it up.
Yeah.
So if you took the time to build a kick butt 36 touch and you started sending that out to your whole database, you're going to get your 10% return that you deserve.
No, and I like when we were talking about putting ours together, about creating the same one, but one is faster than the other. So depending on the lead, you can either send it to them a lot faster, or you can use the same smart plan, but like space it out longer for people that are a year away, but they're still getting the same info.
Right, and you know, you just want to, here's the thing, the only thing I heard that I couldn't interject because it was recorded was Jake is so great at converting leads off of a phone call, and that's why he did good with those 2 leads. However, he can't change their plan. He can't make them more urgent. And he's used to nows because he goes with FSBOs and expired listings. So that is now business. Like they're yes or no, right? But you have a decision and you know where you're at. The challenge with the majority of all leads, they're not nows. He's only talking to the red dots, right? But what else is he going to leave behind if he doesn't build a system like this? So just make sure you understand that although you still need the skills to communicate with people and ask great questions and to kind of identify, like, are they a 4-month out lead or are they a 4-year out lead? You need to be able to distinguish that, and his skills with talking with people is so great, and he's so versed at that, and he's practiced and he's gotten excellent at it. But don't think you can talk a 4-year lead into a 4-month lead. It's really about the volume. So that's your database, and that's collecting people. And the majority of people are not a now. 90% of the world are not a now. Only 10% are. So you can dig out the 10%, but don't forget, if you build that SMART plan, you will continue to keep that nurture going so that when the 4-month becomes a now, or that 18-month becomes a now, or that 18-month had a change of plans because they didn't get harmed as much as I thought they would with COVID, or they, with the stimulus check and a few other things they lined up, they could take advantage of the market now. You'll get those every now and then, but you can't convince someone to buy a house earlier. It just doesn't happen. So if you just change your perspective and you treat your database the way it really needs to be, and you collect, say, 400 or 500 of these Facebook contact leads, and you continue to nurture, you're going to get about a 10% return, only if you build a SMART plan. Or you could go spend thousands of dollars and hire Conversion Monster to do it for you. But they're basically doing the exact same thing that you can do in Command. So if you go check out Conversion Monster, there's a little video with Josh Team giving them a grant basically to continue their business because we thought they were pretty impressive. And yet it's a startup. And basically they're taking your money for the Facebook leads that you built and then making you pay to get them converted. So probably not the best company to go with since you already have the tools in your toolbox to do this. And I really want you all to get the 10% return. Now, I would start with my database first, but most of us don't have a database that is big enough to satisfy our needs. The truth is, if I need 30 closings a year, how big of a database do I really need? 300.
Yes.
300. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a little confused, and I hate to be downer Darlene. So
No.
maybe it was just a dream, but I remember I used probably Top Producer for 25 years. All those Keller Williams plans were in there. The 8x8, the 33 touch, and now we're acting like this is all new. And now
it's not new.
Now we have to build them. You know, that's what we're acting like. Well, this is a 33 touch. This is an 8x8. You know, these are all SMART plans. So
I think not enough of us have read this book lately because this is still very valid. And yes, an 8x8. And I'm going to dive really deep on this on Thursday.
SMART plans.
They're all exactly.
Yeah.
They're all SMART plans.
Yeah. So what happened to all the SMART plans? The 8x8, the 33 touch, you know, the 12 months to, oh, there they are. Okay.
They're in the book. However, to be really frank, Darlene, there's so many new things that you guys have for bells and whistles that I think the topic, so like, and I'm gonna dive deep into this on Thursday, but I'll give you a little taste right now. Let's just say I met all of you this last weekend, okay? Some of you went to my open house. Some of you went to a barbecue that I happened to be at, and some of you I met at the beach. We'll call it that, okay? I don't know you from Adam really, but what you do first is you cement the relationship so that you guys remember who the heck I am with an 8x8. And if you pull this book out, that's what it says. If you're finding someone new that you don't have really a relationship with, you cement it with an 8x8, meaning 8 touches. So the first thing I might do is I might ask to be a Facebook friend right away so that you remember me, like, oh yeah, I met her at the beach, or oh, she was really nice at the open house, or wow, we had a great conversation at the barbecue. You want to do that right away because they'll remember you, and they're more likely to say yes. Now, if you had a not great conversation with them, they're probably going to say no. But the point is, you want to quickly cement the relationship. And I know it's really hard to see this, so I apologize. I got really thick markers, so I just got to use the thick side. So first things first, you might ask them to be a Facebook friend, right? During the conversation, I may have offered something like, oh, you know what I can do is I can send you a nurture, or I can give you a snapshot of your neighborhood, or I've got this mortgage product, or blah, blah, blah. You're going to send them whatever you brought up. And the truth is, You don't need a house right now. Great, but you might as well know what's going on in your neighborhood and how the coronavirus has impacted your value of your home, correct? Everyone's curious about that. You might talk about that you had this refi product that you could have sent them. The point is you're gonna send 8 touches. Some people do notes, handwritten notes. Judy Popes is probably the best note giver. I have more notes from Judy than everyone else combined every year. She's a note giver. It depends on where you left things off, let's be honest. If you totally don't know them and you don't know where they lived, you can't send them a note. So just know that 8x8 is kind of irrelevant of what it is. It's just that it needs to happen. And when you do an 8x8, you cement the relationship and it kind of gives you permission to market moving forward. And then for strangers, you'd send them about 12 touches a year because it'd be kind of weird to do more than that. And what would the ultimate 12 touch be right now? If all you could do is set 1 touch a month. Anyone?
What the market's doing?
Yes, through your monthly neighborhood nurture. Yay. So if one of your steps in your 8x8 is to set them up on the neighborhood nurture, guess what? You're done.
Jess, can I ask, are you doing a different 8x8 for everyone that you meet?
Well, here's
You
the
know
thing.
I'm a virgin at this thing, so I'm working on it.
Right. I think what you need to do is kind of build 2 to start with. One for people that you totally hit it off with, like your BFF with after a conversation, and maybe one with someone that you kind of have enough contact info, but you're not warm and fuzzy yet.
Okay.
Because I think that's the only part that kind of, you know, you can't be over the top with someone that you just met if you didn't, you know, like get to know them. And I think that's the differential, is how well did you get to know them? So the truth is, and I'm going to dive into this really deep for the team meeting, is you could call these each puzzle pieces. Okay. See, these value items were puzzle pieces, and this isn't exactly a great example, but let's just say you're going to share the mortgage information, the nurture, and invite to your open house, something like that. If say you did that every time, those are puzzle pieces. So let's just say you wanted to build a 3rd smart plan. You could quickly just grab those puzzle pieces and put them in line for a third 8x8 if you wanted. So once you build the puzzle pieces, which are the individual steps, it's really easy to put them together to make the puzzle match the relationship. So you might even get more complicated after this and say, okay, I want one specifically for when I do an open house. Okay. If I did an open house, maybe I'd build one on open houses. So you can get more complicated, but the cool thing is once you make one puzzle piece, it's like writing an email that you write over and over and over again. Once you do that one time and you have that saved, you can put the puzzle pieces together quickly. And depending on their situation, if they're really a lead or if they're just someone to stay in relationship with to earn their future business, you can decide the pace to go at. And really, pace is what changes. Truly is. So just know, when the world is having to go pay companies like Conversion Monster and Curator and all these other companies are making tons of money to basically convert Facebook ad leads, you guys have the tools to do it. You have to set it up once, turn it on, and let it roll. And shortly, you'll be able to add images and video and all of that into those, which will even make them more robust. So I know I stole like our whole morning mojo on this, but this is a big deal. It's a really big deal. And this is part of the world change in real estate right now. Relationship is key. So if you want the 10% return, which you can get, we've proven it over and over and over and over and over again. You can't just wait for them to be the red dot. You've got to be in communication with them along the way to earn their referrals and earn their business. And it's really just that simple. So what kind of questions do you have? I'm going to dive deep on this and give real specific examples and screen share some of my puzzle pieces that I've built on Thursday. So you're welcome to join in on Thursday at noon. It's on ubaldinitraining.com. If you need to build this, because don't go buy a bunch of Facebook or don't go get a bunch of Facebook leads and then do nothing with them. That's kind of the shame of it all. Some of our agents just haven't taken the time to slow down to put that smart plan behind them. But while you're doing this, this is also your relationship management plan for your entire database to get your 10% return. So you're kind of doing two things at once by getting this big, big project done. Okay? And I'm going to drag each and every one of you through it because I promise you'll love me afterwards.
Yeah, this is awesome. And you know what, Jessica, I've been working on smart plans because I really plan on like going all in on all of this. So I want to have various ones. But what I'm doing is I am creating them in Word docs.
Okay, perfect. And then you can just copy paste them right in.
Yes, so that way if there's any kind of glitch but it's so much easier to make these changes on Word, and so that's been really helpful.
That's a really smart idea, Maureen. And the smart plan that I shared with you all had bits and pieces. It wasn't a finished product because we want to try new things. We want to see what Maureen can do with it. We want to see what Damari can do with it, see what Jason Jones can do with it. We can see what all of you are doing with it to see what's working best and trade notes and, pivot accordingly. And yet just know that this technology you have is worth millions. So use it. And it'll create that automation behind you to make you phenomenal. And it'll expand your bandwidth like you guys need. Because right now, many of you are trying to one-off your pile of leads. And if you have 114 leads from Facebook, how's that going? You can't. You can't maintain that. It's not sustainable. And then what about your database? Well, if you just added over 100 people to your database through Facebook ads, how many people were already in there that you were already ignoring? True, right?